Hello everyone and welcome to another video. So in this video let's take a look at this hang on the back filter that I bought from AliExpress, and I paid about 600 rupees for this filter. That's including shipping. So let's take a look at the filter. Now this is the smallest filter that I could find on the internet, and this came in this box. Luckily the filter came fairly quickly. I was expecting it to be a little late, but fortunately it was on time. So let's take the filter out. So there's nothing in the box left. The first thing that you get to see is a European style plug, because I live in India, so I got the European style plug. Here is your extension tube. Let's keep it aside. Let's take the filter out. Here is the filter. Nothing in the box. So it comes with about a meter long power cable. As you can see, it's a 2-pin plug style cable. This is the US style, and if you plug it in, now you can plug this plug into a European style plug. So as you can see, the filter is fairly small. This is my hand and the filter is fairly small. So if you look at the back of the filter, you can probably see that the filter comes with a 2.5 watt power head, and the maximum quantity of water that it can push is about 160 liter per hour. Now I don't know if that is true or not, but in my experience I think this filter should be good enough for a tank size of up to 10 liters. In this case I was using it for a tank of 10 liters. So there we go. So inside you can see that this is the compartment. Inside you will get this biological filtration cartridge, and inside probably you can see that there are some activated carbon granules inside there. So if I shine some light behind you can probably see those activated carbon granules. Now this white stuff that you see on top is basically a kind of foam material that you see inside your pillows. So if you have that kind of pillows, you can easily replace this cartridge using your taking some of the cotton or some of this cloth out of your pillow and put it on top of the cartridge, and you can again use it. Now not only that, if you have some bio balls, you can also add some bio balls in there, and that will also increase the filtration capacity of your filter. Now if you look inside the filter, you can see that there is a small sponge there. So the sponge acts as a mechanical filtration, and then it passes through this filtration, and then it drips down from here, and the water goes into your tank like a waterfall. Now this is nothing but once you mount your filter onto your tank, this will help keep the filter fit snug onto your tank, so that it will not move eventually. Now if you look at the power head is fairly small, and the model number of this filter is the XP-03B. Now to take the power head out, you have to rotate it like this, and it comes out. You can see that it is closely shut using this silicone rubber, and this is the impeller. So it's a 3-blade impeller, and the pump is fairly small. So let's plug it back in. So to plug it back in, simply insert it in and then rotate it anti-clockwise, so it fits in. Now in terms of tubing, you get this piece. So this will connect inside your filter, and this part will go inside your tank, and if the water level is below this point, you can attach this extension tube. This will go inside there, and now the pipe has extended. Now you can easily extend the input pipe of your filter. At the end of the filter, you can see end of the intake pipe, you can see that there are some slits which will prevent the fish from entering into the filter, and this will prevent the fish from getting sucked into the filter. Now what happens to attach the filter? All you have to do is simply put this in, and you can see that there are some grooves built into the filter, and you can see some grooves there, so it will fit onto those grooves there. And now on top you can see that you have this your top cover, which you have to put like this. Now this is the complete look of the filter, and as you can see, the filter looks fairly modern and very aesthetic to look at. The filter is not very big if I compare it to a small sponge filter. Now this is the smallest sponge filter that I have, and as you can see that this is not bigger than the smallest sponge filter. If you compare it to something else, here's a small scale. So as you can see that the filter is about 3 inches wide from the bottom, and at the top it's about a little more than 3 inches, 3.5 inches wide at the top, and the total length of the filter, just the filter, is about 4 inches, and including the intake pipe is about 7.5 inches long. So the filter is fairly. So without any further delay, let's just quickly put this filter into a small tank and see how it runs. So I've got here a small extension in which I'm going to plug the filter in. So make sure that the filter is completely inside water, and then you should turn the filter on. So here I've got a small tank, a small container. This is about a 5-liter size container. So let me just bring it in the frame. You can see that. There we go. Now to put the filter in, all you have to do is slide in this part, and the filter will sit on like this. Now in this case, as you can see, the filter is a little crooked because it's not sitting quite straight, because the tank that I'm using has a little bit of curve to it, and this area is protruding outside, which is making the filter tilt a little bit. However, in a case of glass tank, this filter would sit perfectly straight and would work without any problem. Now one thing that I found a little problematic in this filter is that when you first run the filter, so the problem is when you first turn the filter on, the filter can't suck the water on its own, so you will have to fill the container a little bit so that the filter can start sucking water. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a little bit of water from the tank, and then I'm going to fill up the filter, and then hopefully it will start sucking the water. So I've got a small cup here, and if I dip the cup in, and the filter is already on, and if I fill the filter with the water from the cup, you can see it will start sucking water. So now the filter is running. Now you can take the filter cap, put this on top of the filter, and it should run without any problem. Now here's a small valve that you can use to control the speed of the filter. At this moment the speed of the filter is high, so I can reduce the flow by rotating it in such a way that the opening of the intake pipe is a little less. So this is the lowest flow. As you can see, the flow is reduced, and you can also hear the amount of sound that it makes. And if I increase the flow, I have to rotate it in the opposite direction like that, and this is the maximum flow that I get from this filter. Now you can probably see that it doesn't make a lot of movement inside water, but I would still not suggest to use this filter or any other filter in such a small tank if you're keeping a betta fish, because maybe the flow is still a little more. However, I really like the filter. The only problem is if you turn the power off, which I just did, you can see that the water starts coming down, and if I turn the filter back on, sometimes it is able to suck the water back in, but sometimes it finds it very difficult to suck the water back in. So if the power goes off, you will always have to fill in the filter bag with some water, and then the filter will start sucking water on its own. So that's one of the problem that I find in this filter. However, some of the time, let me just close it again. Let's see what happens. And now let's turn back the filter on. So yeah, most of the time it is able to, about 50% of the time it is able to suck the water on its own, but for about 50% of the time you'll always have to add water to the filter to turn it back on, or to turn it to the point that it can start sucking water on its own. So this is the filter, and I think the filter looks fairly aesthetic. It looks very good on, it would look very beautiful on any kind of tank. And I think if you are in the market for a small filter, hang on the back filter, if you want to reduce clutter inside your tank, you can definitely take a look at this filter. Let me just put this filter on a bucket which will have a bigger curve, and hopefully we will be able to see much better in a bucket. So let me just do that. Okay, so now I've attached the filter onto a bucket, and as you can see the filter looks fairly small. Now this is a 20-liter bucket, a paint bucket, and I use this bucket for testing many kind of filters. So let me just plug it in. Already plugged it in. Let me turn this on. There we go. And let's see if it is able to suck water or not. As you can see, it is struggling a bit. Let's see if it is able to do it or not. So it is not able to suck water in, so let me help it a little bit by pouring some water in the tank and see if it is able to suck the water. There we go. And once the filter is able to suck the water in, it is very quiet. You can't even hear it running across the room. And since I've just taken the filter out from the small tank, maybe it lost some of the water, and that was the reason it wasn't able to suck the water back in. So let me just turn it off again and see if it is able to suck the water back from the bucket. So now the filter is off. Let me turn it back on again. And it had absolutely no problem sucking the water back in. So as I've just said, it works about 50% of the time, and about 50% of the time you have to help it out. The filter is fairly big and it's fairly small, but looking at the content of the biological media inside the filter should not be good enough for more than 10-liter tank, or depend upon it will also depend on how much fish you are keeping inside your tank. In this case, I will only be using this filter for a Betta fish tank, and the size of the tank would not be more than 5 or 10 liters. So there we go. This was my video of the hang on the back, the smallest and the cheapest hang on the back filter available in the market today. And the model of the filter is XP-03B. Now this is a generic model number. Many companies are making the same type of filter, and one thing that is common across all those filters is the model number, which is the XP-03B. So if you're in the market for a small, good looking and a decent filter which is fairly quiet, you can definitely take a look at this filter. And with that said, I want to conclude this video. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.